these people that I've been around with, these people share a common trait of just freely giving, not of material things. It's freely giving of their time, their energy, and their gifts to help other people without any expectation of anything in return. The expectation is that the universe is reading me as being abundant and creating positivity in this realm, in this world. So if I'm freely giving time, energy, material things, that is signaling to the universe that I am able to take on more because I'm giving away more. That makes sense. I'm emptying my bucket so the universe refills it. We close the deal, $3 million plus deal selling off these dialysis centers. I present the invoice to my guy, $22,000 to draft up the contracts. He said, man, okay, yeah, it's $22,000. Will you take like 16 grand? Without hesitation, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking, sure, whatever, because who knows what type of influence these people have? Could I have used the difference, the $6,000 difference? Without question, I'm just straight out of law school. If you really want to be unstoppable in 2026, change your frequency and vibration on how you view interaction and transaction. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the N2N podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. N2N, also known as the Ninja or Prolific Ninja by my family and friends. And because my fans are my friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the N2N podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, success, self-improvement, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Merry Christmas to everyone out there in podcast land. Grateful to be here, grateful to bring this episode to you on Christmas Day. I hope everyone is celebrating with their family and their friends in a very festive spirit here on Christmas week. And to all the other holidays and religious celebrations, happy whatever fill in the blank to you all as well. Back in the conference room at my law firm, bringing this podcast to you on Christmas Day so that you can enjoy this as a gift from me to you in celebration of the holiday spirit. But before we begin into the podcast episode, I'm going to start the episode as I start every day. If you're new to the podcast, I'm a physician, lawyer, entrepreneur, business guy, investor in tech, consumer goods, a lot of different products and projects. However, every day I start my day. When I wake up in the morning, I give thanks to God and the universe for an opportunity to be great and hopefully inspire just one person to live to their fullest controllable potential. And hopefully today, that is you. And so with that, I want to thank all my friends and my families and supporters and followers that have supported this show throughout the almost 4 years we've been doing this on a weekly basis. We cannot grow this show and achieve our mission of inspiration across the planet without your support. And so the way we do this, and so first of all, I want to thank you, but then the way we grow the show together and jointly do this is by you all sharing the show. And why do we do that? Because we do the show on a karmic exchange. I'm a frequency energy guy. What I do is I'm giving this free content to everybody out in podcast land. I do this on my own dime, on my own time. No ads, no sponsorships other than the companies that I own or work with. And so with that, I'm giving this to you for free. And so therefore, you're going to owe a karmic balance, which I don't want from you. What I want from you is to restore that balance by just simply sharing the show. And like I say, our expression here is if your knowledge swole, share the show. That is how we grow. And so here we are on Christmas Day. And, you know, I'm not a religious guy. I'm a very spiritual guy. But it is about a festive time of year. A time of year to be with family and friends and just to be joyful in the moment, regardless of your economic circumstance, regardless of how you've performed this year, which hopefully you're better off this year than what your original plans were. Because that's what we're all about is production, productivity, goals, success, and moving and advancing the ball towards your own personal definition of success. But if you haven't hit your metrics, that's okay. It is still a time for festivity, for joyfulness, and for spirit. And so this last quarter of the year, as we've been ramping up into 2026 instead of slowing down, right? I've been around a lot of very, very successful people. Very, very successful people, billionaires, okay? People that own or have invested in several billion-dollar companies. So putting myself in environments of more, quote, successful people that are more successful than I. And a common factor amongst all of these people, as we are in this giving spirit, is that it's just not around this time of year. It's their character or their personality profile or their personality type, which is that they freely give with the intent of having no expectation of getting anything back. So I'm going to repeat that again. These people that I've been around with, and all races, all socioeconomic types, it doesn't matter. Race, color, whatever. These people share a common trait of just freely giving, not of material things. It's freely giving of their time, their energy, and their gifts to help other people without any expectation of anything in return. And it made me review my life and in the many times that I've given. And I would say for me, I'm more that than not. But I will say, I will freely admit that sometimes I'm giving with the idea of, okay, what can I get out of this? And so for me personally, I'm learning to release that, to let that tit for tat go, so to speak. And I'm a very generous person. And in the instances where I freely give, okay, the expectation is not from somebody else to give me something back. The expectation is that the universe is reading me as being abundant and creating positivity in this realm, in this world. So if I'm freely giving time, energy, material things, effort, right? That is signaling to the universe that I am able to take on more because I'm giving away more. That makes sense. I'm emptying my bucket so the universe refills it. And I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving. And each time I'm giving more. Time, energy, effort. You know, at these car meets or these car events or at any type of conference, people come up to me asking for advice, asking what they should do. What do you think about this scenario? And I freely give them my time. Now, as a lawyer, you know, time is money. And my hourly rate is up there. But I don't charge these people. I have friends asking me to review a contract, you know, or get them out of a sticky situation. I have no expectation of charging them. Now, if they ask me or if they, you know, they're really persistent, hey, dude, make sure you bill me for your time, I'll do it. But out the gate, I'm not. Because I'm freely giving that goodwill with no expectation. But you know what happens? The next time some deal or some opportunity pops up, my name comes to mind. Because why? Man, remember Jan did this thing for me, man. Maybe I cut him in on this deal that I know was going to 2 or 3 or 10x. Okay, in finance talk, that's like if you put in 1,000, 10x would be you're going to get 10,000 back. Okay? It just creates an environment or a vibe or a feel of abundance around you when you're freely giving of yourself and not having any expectation of return. So in this time period of Christmas where it's like, man, how much should the gift be? Oh, I gave you a $50 gift. You only gave me a $10 gift, and now we're not friends anymore. All this BS around value of the gift. Why not give you the gift of yourself? It's like a couple podcast episodes ago where I said give the most important gift, which is you. The gift of you to you. Well, now if you fulfill that, you're fully charged to give the gift of you away to somebody else and allow the universe to refill you. That's how the equation works. You're giving yourself time to you, the gift to you to be fully fulfilled of your own abundant energy and gifts and talents. You give that away, and the universe gives you more. You see that equation? So that is how you grow in abundance, by giving away without any expectation of return. And many of y'all have not heard this story, or you have, but this was several episodes ago. So if you're new to the show, you haven't heard it. How did I build this law firm over the last 23 years to be one of the more prominent practices in the country, actually? Right? So back in the day, baby lawyer coming out, I was I was a healthcare lawyer, healthcare business guy. And my business partner now calls me up. I didn't know him at the time. Calls me up. Hey, got your name. My family owns 3 dialysis centers. The kidney specialist that we're selling it off to told us about you. We need a lawyer to draft up the contracts. I said, sure, I can do it. Again, right out of law school, right? Baby lawyer. Not even out of law school. So I was kind of like, doing some stuff. Draft up the contracts. We close the deal, right? $3 million plus deal selling off these dialysis centers. I present the invoice to my guy. It was something like, I can't remember, but it was like, call it like $22,000 to draft up the contracts, right? Close the deal, about 1% of the deal. He said, man, okay, yeah, it's $22,000. Will you take like 16 grand? And I'm like, man, without hesitation, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking, sure, whatever, because who knows what type of influence these people have, right? Could I have used the difference, the $6,000 difference? Without question. I'm just straight out of law school. Kid on the way, all these other things, like, yeah, I need the money. However, abundantly, I basically gave it up without any expectation in return. Might never see this guy again. Might not even, just one and done. Got the deal done, I'm out. But I said, yeah, I'll take 16 grand. Cuts me the check. Hey, man, where are you officing right now? Well, I got the small office on the west side of town. Well, why don't you come office here? Which is this office building right now that I'm sitting in. I said, how much is rent? He's like, man, we got a spare office. Why don't you just set up shop, no rent, rent-free. Done. Right? Now, I could have been a hard ass and say, no, bro, the invoice is $22,000. Pay me my 22 grand. And then for sure, would have been a done deal, never see this dude again. However, because I took that $6,000 haircut, right? Many years later, after we've built this massive entity of a law firm, my buddy says, you know what, Jan? The reason I offered you office space is because you took the discount without hesitation. I realized you are a type of guy I could do business with. And that's why I offered you the free office. Right? Now think of that. Had I not given freely without any expectation, all it was, hey, dude, I'll take the haircut on the invoice. Maybe in the future, if you have an opportunity to business, send it to me. If not, we're good. No reasonable expectation of anything in return. Took the haircut, and now here we are, one of the larger law firms in the country. We're representing over 3,000 cancer clients in this environmental litigation in the same building for the last 23 years. All because I was freely giving without any expectation of return. So think about that. If you really want to be unstoppable in 2026, change your frequency and vibration on how you view interaction and transaction. Find ways to give freely without any it's very, very hard to do because we live in a very transactional world. But if you can find a way inside to just tap into givingness, how you give matters, and what the universe pays you in return will be a direct correlation on how you give. So if you can give freely without any expectation of return, expect an abundance of good fortune coming your way. I promise you, it sounds metaphysical, esoteric, kind of crazy, out in this la-la land, but that is really how it works. I've seen it before in several individuals that are very, very successful, doing crazy things for the future of humanity, all because they are freely giving of whatever time, resource, gifts they've been given, and without any expectation of return. And then just good things happen. Opportunities open up, and it just compounds on top of each other. So in this Christmas episode, in this holiday spirit of giving, think about giving without anything in return. All right, here we go. One more episode before the close of the year, but we're ramping up. We are ramping up. fourth quarter 2026, going to be crazy. Silver's at $70 an ounce. Gold is at 40-something $100 an ounce. Bitcoin hanging around, which I'm thinking there's something going on right there. AI out the roof. All the projects we're investing in popping off. It is about to be a grand 2026. So come on the journey, come on the ride, ramp it up from here into 2026. And then we will be celebrating this time next year on how everybody has been accomplishing their goals, hitting their targets on their path to whatever you define as your version of success. So with that, I'm going to close the episode as I close every day, which is when my head hits the pillow, close my eyes, I thank God in the universe one more time for an opportunity to hopefully use my gifts and talents to the best of my ability to hopefully have inspired just one person to live to their fullest controllable potential. Hopefully today that's you, with the idea of giving without any expectation of return. And if that is, thank you for listening. So I want to thank everybody out there who've been supporting this podcast for the last 4 years almost. 4 years giving this content to you free on a weekly basis. So if you learned something from the show or any other episode, please do share the show. We work on that karmic exchange, that karmic balance. And to restore that balance, please share the show. And if you're knowledge swole, share the show. That's how we grow. I hope you have a safe and Merry Christmas, safe and happy holiday season. Get ready because we're going to start sprinting very, very soon into 2026. And I want everybody to be running at full speed when that time comes. So be great today, but be even more grateful. Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you next week.